James with Love My Pups and My British Supply. So you've probably seen some of my other videos. I do a lot of shipping French Bulldog semen around the United States, Canada, Mexico, sometimes to Europe. And I want to talk about what shipping company you should use for shipping. So here's the product that I use. And this video is not about this, but I want to show it off anyway because this is my deal. So basically, this product here allows you to ship semen to pretty much anywhere in the world on trips that can last up to 4 days. You just put a battery in it. It's just a D-cell battery. You throw that away after every trip. And then it flashes what the current temperature is, and it should be flashing about, it's hard to tell on the video here, but it's flashing red. And it'll be flashing 25 times about that because it's about 25 degrees centigrade in this room. Basically, you put the semen sample in here, in a little bag, you close this up, and you put this inside a foam shipping box with some gel packs, and off you are ready to ship. So the question is, how do you get this shipped? Because I have 4 different ways that I can use to ship semen for an overnight delivery. Right, so which ones and why? So in order of which ones are the best, to the last one, which is the worst, best, by far, FedEx. Next, UPS. And I'm talking about FedEx overnight, UPS overnight, then USPS, the post office, overnight, and Greyhound. So I've used to use UPS a lot, and I used them for about 5 years, and I just had too many failures. I mean, my failure rate a year ago with UPS, and I have a UPS account so I can log all this stuff, was 85% success rate. That means that 15% of my shipments were not going through. So that's a pretty crappy number, and upset customers. I mean, missed opportunities. So then I went to FedEx, and I've had one failure in FedEx in this last year, and that is, I think I had 500 shipments about last year, this year that we're in right now. I had one failure that was due to weather. It was not FedEx's fault. So they have been fantastic. Now I have had some late deliveries with FedEx where they've showed up 5 minutes or 3 hours late, but that doesn't really matter. In most cases, it's just not an issue. Unless you're going to a vet, it's just not an issue. So I give FedEx very, very good marks. I have a FedEx account that saves me about 40% on my shippings. And so if you're going to do much of this, I would absolutely recommend you get a FedEx account. But if you're not doing very much, you're not going to get any discounts. So that's not a big deal. All right, so what are the things about FedEx? Well, FedEx, typically in most towns, there's a number of places that you can do your drop-offs for FedEx. They'll come to you. I try to do my shipments so that I'm basically the last shipment going out of town, which is around 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That means that a customer can call me up in the daytime, in the morning, and I've got plenty of time to get the freshest semen to them. And typically it gets there, if it's a major city, it'll get there by 10:30 in the morning or noon on a Saturday. So things to watch out on FedEx. The first thing is, before the day comes you're going to ship, make sure that you can ship to the area that you're talking to by doing a zip code check with FedEx to make sure that it's going to arrive in a timely manner. You don't want this thing showing up at 4:30 if they're going to go to the vet. So if it's a rural area, you may have a problem. So you may want to ship to like a Walgreens in an adjacent town. Most Walgreens are FedEx shipment and receiving places. So find out about that ahead of time, because you don't want to be caught with your pants down taking this to go get it shipped to find out when you generate the label that it won't get there until late. Or if it's a Saturday delivery, going out on a Friday for a Saturday delivery, they may not even deliver in that area. And then again, normally that's not a huge issue because you can find a place that's probably a half an hour's drive away that is a Saturday delivery and overcome the problem. But you don't want to have that problem the day you're taking it to be dropped off at FedEx to be told it's not going to get there the next day. So just do your homework. If you send out on either FedEx or UPS on a Friday for a Saturday delivery, 2 things have to happen. Somebody has to have checked the box that says Saturday delivery, and the label you generate, if it's UPS, will have an S on it. And if it's FedEx, it'll say the time and it'll say Saturday delivery. And you have to put a sticker on the outside of the box. It's an orange sticker for UPS, and it's an SDR sticker. It's kind of a purple writing on a white background with some yellow stripes on it. You've got to have those stickers on it, otherwise you may have a problem. So SDR, I guess that stands for Saturday Delivery something or other for the FedEx one, and the other one says Saturday Delivery for UPS. So you've got that's FedEx and UPS, both about the same price. If you get an account, FedEx might cost you a little bit less, but that's really not the point. The thing is that FedEx is so darn good. And if things occasionally go wrong, I think that, to me, FedEx has been much more responsive as far as dealing with people. The local UPS drivers around here are wonderful, and the local area, but once they get out of here and go to the distribution point, trying to get anything done with the UPS can be like pulling hen's teeth. It can be pretty tough. Nobody seems to really care like FedEx. So FedEx is super reliable, and they do give a damn. So it makes it much easier if you're trying to find a package that has got lost in the works somewhere. So, again, those two. Right. So, why would you use USPS? Well, the answer is, today is a Saturday, and I'm shipping to a customer, and I cannot ship out either UPS or FedEx on a Saturday. Now, there may be some places in the United States where you can do that, but you certainly can't do it in most places. And best I know, you can't do a Sunday delivery. It's kind of weird because I get some Amazon stuff sometimes that shows up on a Sunday. I don't know how that's happening, but I'm not able to do it. So for me, if I want to get something to somebody on a Monday, the only way I can get that done is to do an overnight, which ends up being a 2-day with USPS. So what are the important things about USPS? Well, it's really pretty straightforward. You go down there, you fill a form out. Bear in mind that a lot of the U.S. post office places probably close at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, so get there by 10:30. They close the door at 11 o'clock, and if you get there at 11 and 3 seconds afterwards, you're freaking locked out. I mean, these people, the same kind of thing, kind of like what I'm talking about Greyhound here in a moment, where people are going to beat me up over this. You know, it's a government thing, and it hasn't have quite the same service that you get from especially FedEx. But and then the next problem with U.S. mail is that it's not that reliable. I mean, I would give them probably 30% of my shipments don't get there on time. Now, when that doesn't happen, it's easy to get a refund, to get all your money back from the post office, but make sure that you keep your receipt. In fact, I'm going to get a receipt here right now from what I just did today. So when you send out, this just went out today, when you send 2 out today by U.S. mail. So when you send out by U.S. mail, you're going to fill one of these forms out, and you'll get this receipt with a tracking number on it, and then you'll get a receipt. Keep this piece of information, paperwork, both of it, because if you have a claim, it doesn't show up, they'll want to see this. Without this, they're not going to give you your money back. With this, they'll give you your money back right away. So they're pretty good about that. In fact, they're the best at getting your money back when things go wrong. Now, there is a tracking number on here so that you can track the package. It sucks. I mean, what the tracking information is just pretty much worthless. I mean, you finally go look at the tracking, and the tracking tells you something when it's been delivered. Well, whoop-de-doo. That wasn't what we were trying to do. We were trying to find out when it's lost or where the hell it is. So when something's lost with U.S. mail, good luck. All you're going to do is get your money back. And if you're worried about what you're shipping is expensive, then, you know, it's got $99 worth or $100 worth of insurance on it. Pay for the extra insurance if you think that it's relevant. So if you're shipping on a Saturday for Monday, U.S. mail. All right. So then the last one is Greyhound. So Greyhound is a trick unto itself. Greyhound stations are not the funnest places to visit, especially at 12 o'clock at night. Some of the most hard-up people are in Greyhound, and I'm not saying anything bad about them, but it's just that's the predicament they're in, and it's just not necessary. And so the people who are there at the counter are pretty frustrated with everybody, including you. So don't expect to get stellar response at FedEx. People are going to be a bit grumpy with you, even though you're spending money with them. That's just the way that it is. So here's the deal on FedEx, on Greyhound. The only time I ever use Greyhound is if I'm going to do a shipment. Well, let me back that up. The reason I'm going to use Greyhound is Greyhound runs 365 days a year. I can do a shipment on a Christmas day and get it to somebody potentially the next day, or a New Year's Eve and get it the next day. But if it has to make a bus change, good luck. It almost certainly is not going to get there for a day or 2 or 3 or never. If it's going to not take a bus change, the bus goes straight through from the place you drop it off to the person who's receiving it, then there's a pretty good chance it'll get there, especially if you write on the outside of the package, take this off at Columbus, Ohio, or wherever it's going to. And it also helps to give $5 to the person that you are giving this to, especially if you can find the bus driver, even better. If I can hang around and meet the bus driver, they'll say, oh, I can't take money, but you just force $5 in their hand and say, hey, that's just, you know, don't worry about it. It's for a cup of coffee. Just appreciate you. And that seems to do wonders. So nothing like greasing the palm a little bit to have a bit of success with Greyhound. So Greyhound has a tracking system. Well, good luck with that because it's like the US mail. It just completely sucks. They do have a tracking system for the bus, so you can at least tell your customer the bus is there. So this is one of the problems: is buses tend to show up late, and there's really two things that can happen when you're shipping something Greyhound. Don't do it if it's going to be a bus transfer because you're screwed. And if there isn't a bus transfer, make sure you write the destination to take it off, and then track the bus and have your customer get there 5 minutes or so before the bus arrives, because it's pretty common for them to not take it off the bus and it goes on to some other destination before they figure out they're screwed up. So when they say it's not on the bus, say, yeah, it is on the bus. I know it's on the bus. Please check for me, and give them $5. And 9 times out of 10, it's on the bus and they haven't messed up, and it really is there. And they would have messed up if you hadn't have been there to salvage the situation. So Greyhound can be a lifesaver when you've got the holidays coming up. Otherwise, nah, you wouldn't use them. US mail, they're good if you've got to do something on a Saturday for a Monday. Otherwise, I wouldn't use them. UPS, they're pretty good, but they're just not as good as FedEx, and they're about the same price. So the last part about this is what happens when things go wrong and getting your money back. Well, FedEx and UPS have pretty good tracking systems. Both of those are not particularly good at giving you money back. If there's anything that they can find to squirm out of it, and they'll lie about stuff, about weather and whatever else, if they can claim it's a weather-related thing and it's not their fault, which sometimes it is, that's fair enough, but lots of the times you know that it's just a bunch of baloney. You have a hard time getting your money back with FedEx, I can tell you that. US mail, they're very reliable. They're not reliable at getting stuff, but they are reliable at giving the money back for what that's worth. Greyhound, waste of time. Don't even bother making a phone call, because I promise you, you will just want to beat your head on a friggin' brick. It's just not happening. They're not giving you your money back. You can do it till you're blue in the face. You can just hope you get your product back, but you know, it's just nobody gives a damn, and it is what it is. So anyway, I hope that's of benefit to people. Best of luck with your shipping, and it certainly makes the important, I think one of the relevant things here about all this is do your homework ahead of time and make sure if you're using either UPS or FedEx that physically it's capable of getting to the places that you want in the time manner that you want to get there. And one last thing, on US mail, their guarantee is delivery by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But if you have it hold at the post office for them to pick it up, typically it's there by 10 o'clock. So that can be useful sometimes as well. Anyway, from My Breeder Supply and Love My Pups and James, it's coming up on the new year. I hope you have a wonderful 2019. And if you've got to ship something, use FedEx and use my product. Bye-bye.